Hey everybody, I'm Matt Dickerson with Mid South Extrusion. I'm here on What's in the Works. Check out this podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is Corbin with What's in the Works podcast. Today we have Mr. Matt Dickerson. He is the Chief Strategy Officer at Mid South Extrusions. We're super happy to have you here, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So we were talking a little bit off camera. We were really looking forward to sitting down with you. You've been on our list for a long time to meet with, and
way down the list.
Way down the list. We had it was hard. We had to go through your manager and all your people.
All my people.
A lot of barriers, you know. But no, man, we appreciate you coming this morning and sitting with us. And we want to hear about what's going on with Mid South Extrusion. Tell us a little bit about how. So you are from here. You're born and raised in Monroe.
Born and raised in Monroe.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit how you got your start.
Yeah, so born and raised in Monroe, Neville High School graduate of 2007.
Okay.
Went off to play college ball. I was blessed with an opportunity to play collegiate football, and you wouldn't know that by my size. I'd like to say I played receiver, but that's not true. And, man, I had an interest in business all through college and got a business degree and had a real plan to go into a business with a friend of mine. His family owned a company, and I was going to jump in and do that. And I actually came back the spring before my December when I graduated and spent about a week with the Neville football team and just coached, was out there on the field with the guys during spring training. And, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd go back coaching. Definitely didn't think I'd be teaching. But in January, so I graduated in December, January, I was substitute teaching and coaching at Neville. And I was there in education for about 9 years.
Oh, really?
When I got out of education, I was in administration. And we were talking before, and my path is very strange. But I helped start the welding program, small engine program at Neville. And then went to the school board office and helped kind of build out the CTE programs, career and technical education programs at the school board.
Wow.
So I did that for a couple of years, which is how I got into really the community and all the different businesses and sitting down and trying to, pull internships together and get our students placed in different programs. But while I started the welding program I'd done that kind of on the farm in the summers, hobby welding type, and then you go into teaching welding. And we got a plasma table. We were doing CNC cutting, and I taught myself how to do CNC design and all that.
I have not heard of many high schools having a welding or a small engine program.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we got it, and it was a good time, but I never knew all that path would lead me where I am today. So.
Where'd you play college ball at?
University of Central Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't show up when we did Wikipedia.
In the profile search.
It didn't show up. So
that's interesting. Yeah. We hired a new technical director, and I was in a meeting, and somebody brought up my college, and he pulled up on his phone, and he found my collegiate profile.
Really?
I was like, that's weird. Why are you looking at that?
He was sizing you up.
Did your program that you rolled, did that roll over to the VOTEC and those types of schools?
Yeah, so that's
as well?
really where I started connecting with Louisiana Delta Community College.
Okay.
Because my thing, and I guess this is the business mindset. I realized from a capital standpoint, the school system didn't have the money to really build out a program like the parish schools. And I don't know if y'all went to the parish schools, but parish schools have FFA and big ag programs, and they're all set up with shops. The city school system didn't have any of those, and so we were I remodeled a soccer locker room under a stadium, made it a welding classroom. So we did with what we could, and I realized capital-wise we wouldn't have the funds to really build out something. And so my goal was I got to get them interested. I got to get them. I got to kind of get them hooked, and then I need to hand them off to a partner. And our partner was Louisiana Delta Community College. There were some logistics challenges because they're welding programs in West Monroe, and so being at Neville, trying to bus them, across the river and all that. But that team at Louisiana Delta. I think we started that almost 10 years ago now, and we're still sending students out there and working with those programs.
Were you involved in the execution of building those out, or just more the idea phase and concept and getting them hooked in?
Yeah, both and. So at Neville, started with small engines because around that same time is when the state education system came out and said, hey, we really need to focus on career and technical education, right? We've been pushing students to college.
Mm-hmm.
This was 2013, 2014. And we really got to start doing some technical education. And so one of the first classes that our principal came to, she came to me. I was standing outside my classroom. She goes, "Hey, I'd like you to go teach small engine repair." And I was teaching, I think, physical science and civics. And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, you wear boots every day. Like, I think you'd be good at it.
You
just need to do small engine."
So I went and I got
strike me as a guy
certified.
who can
Yeah,
change
I was
oil.
I actually have a certification in 2-stroke and 4-stroke engine repair.
Okay.
You know, so
right.
if you need me
We
to
have
change
a
your
weed eater
carburetor.
actually outside.
Yeah.
We're going to test you.
Yeah,
Weed
fun
eater.
fact.
Yeah.
Briggs and Stratton.
That's right. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Could bring that steel in right now.
So we started doing that, and then just talking to the kids. We had a full class. Like, kids wanted to participate because it was different, right? It wasn't the math, it wasn't the English. It was something that they can work on, tear an engine apart, put it all back together. And I was asking the kids, like, what else do you want? Like, what other class if you wanted anything? Well, we want welding. And when I started the welding class at Neville, it was one welding machine, a welding table that was like 2x2, just a metal table. If you've seen these little fab tables, we had to roll it outside because the classroom we were in was under a stadium. Nothing was exhaust.
Safety.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So sunny days.
Safety first. Yeah.
Sunny days we rolled it outside. Had a couple pieces of metal. Had one welding machine, and we plugged it in and ran a cord, from the classroom, and that's how we started.
Just stacking dimes.
And then on rainy days.
Then rainy days you were inside.
OSHA.
Yeah.
We had them on paper where they were trying to learn how to stick weld on paper with a pencil.
Wow.
Just the motions. Right?
Yeah.
So it was stuff like that I look back and go, man, we were so we lacked a lot.
Yeah.
But the students loved it. The kids loved it. They were really interested in it. So that summer, I talked the administration there into letting me demo out the soccer locker room in the visitor side stadium, put a roll-up door in, cut the cinder blocks, put the exhaust in, all the things. Like, it's crazy looking back now.
Have you been able to like trace that like to like results phase from like those kids that kind of went through that
Yeah,
program?
so I actually had one of my students. So that was 2013, 2014 time frame. 2018, I started my own company. And so I started Legacy Metalworks, which is still over on Washington Street. It started kind of where we're sitting across the street on Louisville. You know, the donut shop right there? There's a car auto shop now, I think is what it is. But that was the piece of property my buddy had. And he was like, we were at the lake one weekend. And I said, man, I'd like to do this. And he was like, I got a building on Louisville. You can just pay the utilities, use it for 6 months to a year without rent free, get you off the ground and going.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so I thought I almost got divorced when I went and asked my wife we're going to go get a loan and start a business. But I started the business in 2018 doing metal signs, fire pits, gates, things like that. And I actually hired one of my students.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So so when I got done with school, I would go there in the evenings, afternoons, kind of plan out any projects that we had. And he would come because he was only there for like 2 classes a day. So he'd go to the shop and he'd work all day. I'd get there, check in, get a plan for the next day. And we were just kind of rolling around there. Well, y'all all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
Right? The world shut down. For us, it was like the best ever.
Yeah.
Because everybody was home and everybody was this was a big time when everybody wanted their initials monogrammed in metal. Remember those? Those metal signs?
Yeah.
And so we had a CNC table, welding. We were doing gates and huge gates and small gates and signs and everything else you can think of. And, man, it just took off. I ended up hiring another guy full-time. That led into, powder coating and everything else. So it was a crazy thing. So in 2020, I had a guy approach me about buying a company in Arkansas. And he started the conversation with, he walked in my shop. He said, hey, how big do you want Legacy to be? And I'll never forget him asking that because in the moment I'm going, well, I'd like to get it to a point where I could retire from education and I could do this full time, which I was loving. I was working with my hands. I was a business owner.
Yeah.
Like the entrepreneurial spirit was thriving. I was like, man, I'd like to get it, to a size. And he said, all right, well, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to take you somewhere. We're going to show you something. Well, I got in the truck the next day and he made me sign an NDA. And I was like, well, this just got real.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were going to look at something.
Yeah,
Why am I
yeah.
signing this NDA? Well, we ended up going to Arkansas and looking at a company. It was an industrial fabrication company. Huge company. 3 buildings, big press brakes, I mean, they had weld booths everywhere. It was a big industrial fabrication shop. And the guy had just gotten to an age where he was ready to retire. And this guy wanted to buy it. And so we partnered together and bought that company in 2020. I left education. And I tell people that I didn't leave education because I hated education. Like, sometimes education gets a bad rap.
Sure.
Like, I loved what I was doing. I loved the kids. I loved seeing the opportunities that we were able to create through career and technical education. This was just an opportunity for my family to take a different path, right? So I did that in 2020, and man, that was a roller coaster ride in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like, you say you want your business to be big, and then you go get a big business, and you're like, whoa, hold on.
That's pretty high stakes.
Yeah. And my wife, surprisingly enough, was more supportive of that decision than she was like the $40,000 loan I asked for
in the free building.
in the free building.
So, drastic change.
Yeah.
It was a big difference.
Yeah. No, it is weird. You set out and you have something good going, and then, you know, we've been through the same things where we're like, oh, we want to get big, you know, we want to expand, we want to grow, and then you're not sleeping at night, and then you have 40 people relying on every decision you make. There's 40 families that at stake, and you're like, you know, what am I going to do? And this was our dream, you know, we're going to get big, and that's what happens. So
So I learned a lot of lesson in those 3 years. I owned that company with my partner and I. So I had legacy still here, doing more residential, some commercial things, and that was the industrial side. Man, we were all over the country. We were doing projects in North Carolina, South Carolina. I was in Oregon. I mean, everywhere in all these plants, from paper mills to aluminum plants.
And you were building equipment for?
Yeah, we're building structural steel, mostly structural steel projects inside those mills. So any of the equipment, structural projects that they would sit equipment on, you know, we kind of did that approach. We didn't build any kind of specific equipment. All of ours was around structural and fabrication and then installation.
So you maxed out in that path pretty quick,
Yeah, where you talked about like
full blast.
You want to grow, you want to be big, you want to do all these things, and like that's where I was, and it's, you know, as part of my testimony, I share with people is like, man, God's faithful, because I wanted all those things, and then when I got all those things, I also got kind of all the worldly things that come with it, right? And I was making more money, I was traveling more, I was doing more, I had more stuff, like. I had all the things that everybody looks at and go, man, if I could just be rich, I could have all those things. And like I got them, and then I had more anxiety, more fear, more worry, more concern. I didn't sleep. I was angry. Like
it's empty chase.
You get to a point and you're going, man, this is not what I wanted it to be, right? And I lost sight of the goal. And the goal was, you know, we bought that company and we wanted to do good, and we wanted to move the needle in a lot of ways in the communities that we served. And that's always been my heart. But then you get so busy, right? You get so busy on growing, and you get so busy on trying to be big that you kind of miss the mark. And before you know it, you wake up and you're going, man, I don't even know that guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so God gave me an opportunity to exit that. And I did. I left there in 2023. And to my knowledge, everything, Legacy's still up and running. The company in Arkansas, I think, still doing good. But it was just a chapter of my life that I had to look back and go, man, like, all right, I spent the next year effectively. I was working with a friend of mine, and I'm so fast paced. Like I want to go, I want to do, but I spent a year almost to the day in a very slow paced business. And I was frustrated because I was like, man, I could do this, we could do that, we could make this happen. But it was like God just kept holding me in this place. And eventually, about 6 months in, I'm going, what is this? Like, what am I doing? Like, I feel like I can bring value, but I'm not bringing value. And I remember a guy was like, you just need to sit. What you wanted, you were going, go, do, grow. What I need you to do is after that, I need you to sit and I need you to reflect. And that was like the most impactful year of my life, because I got to go back and go, I missed the mark.
Yeah.
That's where I messed up. I didn't do that right. I didn't do this right. So for me in my position now with Mid South Extrusion, like that's the scars that I carry. That's what I tell people. Like you can look at me and I've got scars.
Yeah.
But the scars are what drive me each and every day. Right? So my nature is not processing systems. I don't know if y'all have done personality assessments.
Yeah.
But I'm like high D, like drive, visionary. That's my and like systems, processes, details are not my jam.
Yeah.
But if you spend your time in that season of life that I was in, you realize we didn't have good systems, we didn't have good processes, we didn't have the structure or the infrastructure to build and grow.
Yeah.
And where it got us, it makes you appreciate it now to look back and go, okay, well now you can ask anybody at Mid South, like I'm the systems guy.
I was gonna say, isn't that exactly what you do?
I was really,
you were taking me on a detour there.
Yeah,
I was like,
this goes completely against
I was like, I have some
personality.
fact wrong.
Exactly.
This is my sauce.
That's what I try to tell people. Like
Yeah.
you can't appreciate when I tell you, like I'm working in my frustrations. It's because I'm not system, I'm not process oriented.
Yeah.
But I lived a season of my life where I realized if you don't do those things, you don't have those things in place, you're not going to scale. You're not going to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just foundation. Like you're a foundation builder at that point, you know.
Yeah.
So you were forced to slow down and reflect, and and you've been with Mid South since 2023,
2024,
24,
right at the beginning of 24.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I came in as over business development. What my title was, what was it? Business development officer. Business development strategy officer.
That's a good title.
Yeah, it was
Look,
a
we
long
like
title.
A good title.
Long
Yeah,
title.
long title.
Title means a lot.
On a business card. Takes
But
up
what was
space,
what
looks
was
good.
Turns
what
into
was
an
so
acronym.
cool-
LinkedIn.
Yeah, what
BDO.
was yeah, that's right. BDSO. That's
BDSO. That's a good one.
But what was so cool about that? I say it's cool. I'm sure the people when I came into the office didn't think it was cool. But I didn't have any direct reports.
Yeah.
And so when I came in, like I literally just got my job description was written as like, hey, we got to put things in order. We need to get aligned. We need to help put some strategy behind some of the things that we're doing. And so I just got to go play in everybody's sandbox.
Yeah.
Some people likes that. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Right. And I shared with some of our team members this last week. I said, look, I know 2 years ago when I came in, like I disrupted a lot of things. I get it. But it was because we needed systems, we needed process. Because Mid South, this is going to be in our 40th year, and there's been consistent, steady growth year over year. And the leadership team for 40 years has almost been consistent. Like for the last 30 plus years, the group of executives have led that company through great moments of growth.
You don't find that often.
No.
I mean, 40 years of consecutive growth is insanely impressive.
And you can look at it, and there's ups and downs, but to look year over year and how that company's grown, like it's a testament to what good leadership really does.
Yeah, 100%.
So I noticed, and I may be wrong about this, so we'll have to cut it if I am. It looks like y'all like rebranded or like kind of like I don't know, like remade logos, started running billboards and things like that. So like a revamp. What is the intention behind that? Are you guys
Have you ever met Mark Kent Anderson?
I have not. So
Mark Kent.
We actually tried to get him first.
We grew, yeah. I would say that's probably the better one you need to see. But Mark Kent he and I grew up together, and it's been so awesome to see the man that he's become.
Sure.
Right? And we were some knuckleheads growing up, no doubt about it. But his heart for people, his heart for this community, and his heart for this company is really what's inspiring. It's encouraging. What brought me to Mid South.
Sure.
But he's very particular, and when you see Mark Kent, he's dressed well, he's put together. There's not a hair out. Literally, there's not a hair out of place, right?
There's not.
You know? And so when I came in, I think a couple of years before he had gotten into the marketing, kind of got a hold of marketing, and said, "Look, we got a brand, we got to put our name out there, we got to do these things." But a lot of it was focused on just employees. Just that we needed to hire people, and so we needed to get our name out there in the community so people would brand recognition for hiring specifically. When I came in, we were bringing people in, and we had a good kind of pipeline. And we said, all right, we got to look at an industry side. What is our brand in our industry, in the plastics industry? And that's where we started kind of going, okay, we need to update, we need to refresh, we need to. Most of our customers recognized us as MSE, right? And so it's not to take away from Mid South Extrusion, but Mid South is almost the geographic footprint where you're going, okay, well, you're just more of a regional company.
Yeah.
Well, we service all of America,
Sure.
into Mexico, into Canada, and overseas. And so we didn't want to limit ourselves by a regional, but we wanted to honor the legacy of where the companies come from.
Yeah.
And so really you look at us, and most of the stuff you see in the community is MSE, and then under it's Mid South Extrusion. And so that rebrand happened really over the last probably year and a half.
Yeah.
Heavy, and then pushing it out. They've got a new billboard on the interstate.
Yeah.
We've always had billboards, but there have been two on the interstate coming into West Monroe, and they're career focused, right? Careers begin here, start your career with us, right? And then this one, if you remember, the chamber rolled out the mural at the airport. That it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day mural.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago with Roy Heatherly and his team and Kinetics and that group over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful mural.
And so now it's kind of gone all over the community,
Yeah.
right? You got T-shirts and towels, and you can go to different stores and find umbrellas and everything else.
But that push is to be a major employer, like to be
Yeah.
thought of so that your
Yeah.
talent pool
Yeah.
is expanded.
Yeah, so we feel like imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Sure.
And so we took that mural, and then we really kind of, if you look at ours, it's really specific to the south side of Monroe, right? We've got the Leighton Castles. We got, the things that are unique. Bartonell Falk Elementary School right across from our facility, which we're a big supporter of, and different places on the south side, and then the things that make Monroe, Monroe.
Yeah.
Right. We still got some homage to Delta. They might not claim us, but we claim them.
Yeah.
Right. We got the university. We got Louisiana Delta Community College, and then we got Neville High School really built into there because there's a lot of Neville blood in Mid South Extrusion. But we just put that mural not only on the billboard, it's inside of our office. It's a whole wall of our office.
Oh, wow.
But it talks about our mission, our vision, our values, and all those things are listed out there. So really cool. It's just a way for us to kind of take ownership of the brand that we want to represent, because Mid-South is more than just a plastics company. And we've got incredible people. If we're selling plastic today, we'll be successful. If we want to start selling toilet seats tomorrow, we'll be just as successful.
Made of plastic.
Because we got it. Because we got a great team. Right.
Yeah.
That's what's exciting.
We've said that before too. It's like we could move our team into any industry and do well, because that's the way we recruit and hire, is the same way. It's like we need guys who are self-managers, who are high performers, who have potential, whatever it is, and it is that's a cool place to be. When the team in house, you're like, we could do anything. That's right. We could pivot to anything. Yeah. If our industry collapsed tomorrow, we would start a new business the next day. Yeah.
No doubt.
So that is awesome. I know. So I've lived here almost 4 years now, I guess, and I've always heard of Mid South Extrusions. I mean, it is a known thing. You have a big presence on LinkedIn. You have a big presence on, around the community, and so it is impressive that you have this company that does. I mean, you employ a lot of families. You do a lot of community support stuff. So, what are some of the things y'all do community support wise for Mid South?
Oh man, so we feel like it's really part of our mission, and it's in our mission statement to support our community. And one thing we talk about is Monroe's home. Monroe's always going to be home. Our corporate offices are always going to be here. We've kind of maxed out our campus on Jackson Street. Yeah. With this latest expansion, especially, it kind of pushes us to where we probably got a little bit more room for a few more lines. But strategically, our presence is better elsewhere in an additional space, not in replace of, right? But Monroe's home. Monroe is a part of this company, and we feel like we're intertwined. Yeah. I would say 5 years ago, as Friday Ellis came into office and he started laying his vision out, for Monroe and kind of made us believe again. Yeah. Right. Mid South Extrusion came in and behind that and started supporting, believing that the community that we live in, it really is a special place. And then Roy Heatherly, when he came in and took over the chamber, he kind of honors the beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It doesn't matter if it's rainy, if it's cloud, whatever it is. Like, it's a beautiful day in Monroe, Louisiana, and that we are the center of the universe. And there's like a lot of cool things that happen here. Yeah. And so we feel like as a company and as citizens and as community supporters, like, it's our job to help uplift that community. And we employed 230 people. Wow. We run 24/7, 365. Yeah. We never shut down. Even the ice storm, a lot of our machines were idled, but they weren't completely shut down because we got to keep things moving. Sure. And so we feel like that's one way that we serve this community through payroll, right, and paying our people good
230
wages.
employees is a big. That's a dent.
That's
that's a lot of jobs.
It's not, we feel like it's a big employment base for Monroe, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge company, and we like that, right?
Yeah.
We like that we're still honoring our family legacy. But in addition to that, we give out to the community. We feel like the Lord's blessed us with resources to support, and if I tried to give you a list of everything that we support, we'd be here all day. Because it's the little things. Like we get a lot of the T-ball sponsors, and soccer sponsors, and all these other things.
Yeah.
And man, that's just, we love being able to do that. We love being in a position to give, right? And Mark Kent, especially in this leadership team and the Anderson family, have a heart for giving. Like they really understand that the blessings that they have is so that they can bless others.
Yeah.
And I'm honored to be a part of that. And so we've supported the Children's Museum. We made a big donation last year to them, and they're great partners and excited about the growth that they're
we're excited to see
through.
what they're going to do next.
Yeah. And then the university, obviously, we support locally. We support Louisiana Delta. We've got a scholarship, working with them on a scholarship specific to maintenance that we're working on through Louisiana Delta Community College, because we need maintenance technicians. Shout out maintenance technicians. If you need a job, come see us. Man, really anything and everything. I mean, we really do. We get requests all the time, which is, sometimes people look at that as frustrating, but for us, we're honored that people think of us and want us to support.
Does the incoming meta stuff have any positive effect for you guys? Is that why y'all are expanding workforce? I guess that really doesn't play in together much.
So we don't really play in Meta's field.
We
Sure.
don't either.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I think, and we kind of talked before the show, do we think this project was a good deal? Absolutely. I think it's a great deal. There's a lot of eyes on Northeast Louisiana right now.
Yeah.
But for us specifically in our industry, that's, we sent some plastic out there for some trash bags or something that they needed. But they're not a partner for us in that aspect. But I would say that one of the challenges that we are facing is around workforce. They're pulling a lot of people.
They are.
And they honored that when they came in and said, we're going to hire locally.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I'm like, yes, because we need to uplift the whole community.
Yeah.
The other part of me said, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We better get our ducks in a row.
You're competing at this point. Yeah.
You got to get your ducks. But look, that's the beautiful thing about business, right? If I feel like I have a company and I'm doing right by my people and I have great jobs, great benefits, great all the things, I'm not worried about who comes in beside me. I'm not worried about the new company that comes in.
Yeah.
I feel like we want to do a good job internally, and if we do right by our people will stay with us.
Yeah.
And so we have lost a couple, which is part of it.
Sure.
They've got great wages and great opportunities out there. We're not going to try to keep that from happening. Long term, what does it look like? That's the question. What does this look like as it continues to grow? And every day you hear there's an expansion, or there's this, or it's going to be here for this long. Look, they're going to be here for a long time. They being even the construction and the development process is going to be here for a long time. And I think as a community, that's great.
Yeah.
That's better for small businesses.
Absolutely.
That's better for restaurants. I mean, y'all had Joey on here. I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's talking about as busy as he is.
Yeah.
But it's crazy when you see that campus, just how big it is, just how many people it is. But from a guy that likes manufacturing and likes seeing how things work, that's an operation.
Oh, yeah.
When you're moving that many people
Of the largest
in and out at that
That's
scale,
world-class,
it is insane how impressive that is.
Yeah. No, it is. And it also creates, I think, a lot of opportunity for local entrepreneurs who are trying to do their things. Joey was a big one, talked a lot about a lot of auxiliary businesses that people are able to open up to support.
Absolutely.
And all the local stuff. And look, we've been in situations like that too with hiring and needing people. Or I almost would rather be in a situation where I need to fill a spot than I have too many applicants that I can't hire. I kind of hate that. It's like you have a line of good people that you wish you could bring on, but you can't. It's like I would almost rather need somebody and know that those guys that, people are taken care of. So, man, a common theme that I keep seeing through all of this, through, the successful, business-driven leaders that we've had on here. And the common theme has always been, is always a big shout out to the team. It has always been a team focused mentality. And, you know, which I just think is so important. The other one is like, there's so much community love and focus. And like, I think that's so important. I mean, we wear NELA on our chests and our trucks, you know, like that, to us, that carries like a sense of responsibility. Like, you know, we owe the community something because we represent them, whether we like it or not. We branded that way. That's who we are now. And so there is a lot of responsibility. And so to see people who are local, large employers, large business leaders, like also take that same mindset. I think that's why Monroe has a special energy here. I really think that's why, like, the interactions with people and businesses, and there is a certain buzz, and I think it's why it's an attractive place to be. And anyway, I just respect that a lot, man. It's really cool.
One other thing, you've been on the Chamber of Commerce, and what is your current title?
So I'm the 2026 chair of the board.
There you go.
Monroe Chamber of Commerce.
That's awesome.
That's the ultimate climb.
Well,
so
it's been interesting.
No, that's cool. That's very cool. I'm being serious.
Yeah, I told actually Leadership Washita just kicked off, and I don't know if you guys participated in that. It's a great group. I never went through it because I came into the chamber kind of unconventionally.
Yeah.
So I was in education, and I came to the chamber and go, hey, I need to get connected with businesses. Can you help me? And Miss Sue Nicholson and I worked together, and I mean, sitting in the office, trying to put programs together, trying to connect businesses. We helped start a business program in partnership with ULM, which is still going and it's still really successful, which is awesome. And so I always was just working in partnership with the chamber, and then I got a seat on the board of the chamber, and then I stayed on the chamber, and it's almost been almost 10 years now.
Wow.
Being a part of the chamber, and then moving up and kind of the last couple of years into their executive committee, and then to this year as chair is very, it's humbling to say that, because there's great people that have been in this seat, and I feel like I'm very undeserving of it. You know, because there's really some special people that have done amazing things in Monroe, Louisiana, that have been in this position and led the chamber through that. It's a big year. I'll just kind of give a plug for the chamber. Roy Heatherly, who's been with us for 5 years, he retired. You probably see him #RetiredRoy on social media. But he's loving life. Prayers for him. He actually just had knee surgery yesterday.
Oh, man.
But it was his second one so he's going to be a new man, ready to go into retirement.
Steve Austin.
Yep.
Running into retirement with a new knee.
Ready to go jogging.
We'll get well soon, Roy. That's awesome.
But we've got Mike Downhour, who's our president and CEO.
Right.
Really excited about Mike coming on board. He's been with the chamber for about 3.5, 4 years.
Like the nicest guy ever. He's like the nicest
great guy.
Yeah.
And so really excited about him coming in and leading the chamber kind of in this next chapter, because there's a lot of opportunities. And you know, Meta's one thing.
Sure,
but Meta's kind of the magnet that's pulling these
right.
others in.
That's right.
And so I think it's really important from a business community to just kind of have eyes wide open with it.
Well, I think it speaks a lot to you personally. I mean, what you've been able to do. Obviously, with the team that you've been around, it's the people you've involved yourself with. I think that's a huge credit to what you've been able to do here. What are some things that you're looking at for? You're kicking off. You're the new chairman of the board for the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
What are some things that you're looking forward to seeing? What are some things that, as a second question, what are some things that you see local businesses like us being able to support while you do that?
Yeah, number one, I'd say if you're not involved, get involved, right, with the Chamber. Chamber of Commerce is a great networking opportunity for businesses to come in, and our Chamber team is incredible, and they do all kinds of events. So if it's from a small business, one person, we're kind of going this like micro business term. This is something new to me, but the team brought it to me the last couple of weeks, and they're going, that's like the 1 to 5 employee businesses, which there's a lot of those in our area.
Sure. Yeah.
But they have coffee and conversations. They've got Monroe Mingle and social networks and all kinds of things that's happening. So number one, get plugged in. Number two, we also have different groups and kind of that you can connect with in committee-wise. And so we went through our board retreat and kind of rebranded some of our committees to where we're trying to focus on 3 big buckets. We want to talk about government and advocacy, because business law and things that happen in Baton Rouge are important, even at the federal level, that impact us in the business community. So there's groups in that.
Yeah. We feel that big in the construction world, and we feel that all the time.
And we've got different kind of groups internally. That the health committee has been a great committee, and they focus on like the health of the community, not just health care, but how do we live well and work well. We've got we did a show last week or last year. Colby Walker did a great job of highlighting people, kind of like y'all have been able to do, to just tell their stories of why they choose Monroe.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of those projects that are continuing in 2026. We've got obviously the 250th anniversary of America is this year, so it's a big deal. And Mike is leading a project at the chamber with partnership with Chenault and a couple others to do 250 flags out in our community. So that's going to come, which is going to be good. And man, there's so much stuff. There's so many things to discuss and talk about. We do all of our luncheons and legislative luncheons and different people that's come in to share about the things that are happening. And I'll say consistently, what's awesome is the love that this community has for people is felt. And we get a lot of visitors. We had dinner with some people from D.C. not too long ago, and they're like, man, there's no place like this.
Yeah.
Like they walk in and they just feel loved. Like when people say, like, I'm glad you're here, I'm glad to see you, like people in Monroe really mean that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some places you go and they don't mean that. It's just words. But for us, like, they really feel that. And so that's really, really encouraging. So I'm honored to sit in this seat and represent the chamber. And my goal is each and every day not to let anybody down.
Yeah.
But
don't you do it.
But there's a lot of good things coming.
That's
right.
You let us down.
Don't do it.
No, I think we're excited to see what you're going to do. We know you're going to do an incredible job. And
thank you.
Cool.
Man, it's just cool to see like these like young leaders who are pushing forward. And like you said, I think we were lucky to have Friday on first, and we've gotten to interact with Friday a lot. And like, I think he leads the charge on a lot of that. I think the idea, like you said, when he kind of made everyone re-believe, years ago, I think that's a true statement. And it's just cool to see. There's so much opportunity here. There's so much ability. We talked about this with Joey last week, where it's like it feels like there's so much ability for someone to move here, to come out of college, whatever it is, to start a business successfully, because the community will support it.
That's right.
There are so many great business leaders and great business minds here that people can start to connect and network with. That there's just opportunity everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's what's really cool about Monroe is you have some incredibly gifted business leaders. And we talk about business as kind of like they're in a separate category, but really it's all business, right? Yeah. Everything we do is business related. But there's people that have made significant impact in their industry that live right here in Monroe. And what's even better is most of them are the most humble people that you could meet, right? And you go sit and want to have coffee and go, hey, talk to me about this. Tell me about that. How'd this work? How'd that work? And I think about Congressman Rodney Alexander, who was in Congress for years and a great representative, still connected with the chamber and does a lot of stuff for us on the lobbying side. And but I went to lunch
in his Alexandria office. Yeah. I've known him since I was like a little kid.
Mountain of a man,
he's a great
I think I've got him by height, but I still look up to him.
Not in presence.
Right?
Yeah,
That's right.
He carries a big presence.
Exactly.
He's a cool guy.
But I went to lunch with him and I said, "Tell me about how this all the politics work."
Yeah.
Not for my understanding. And he has stories, some of the coolest stories that you've ever heard from Congress back in the day. And he's just got a heart for people and a heart for this community. But there's people like that all. You've had several guys on your podcast that are great movers and shakers that would sit down, have a cup of coffee with you, and tell you all about it.
Yeah. So. That's the cool part too. Is like you and everyone we've had on are obviously people that we look up to here. And the fact that every single one of you has just been like, yeah, of course. Like, no pride. It has just been, everybody's been so cool about it. And I think that speaks to the generosity we have as a community, too, because we all want to see each other win. I think genuinely, I feel that everyone wants to see each other win here. And that's kind of rare. I've lived kind of all over the state, and that feels unique to here, specifically. Yeah. And that's a cool thing. And I think it speaks to leadership. I mean, you've been a leader your whole life. I mean, leaders are kind of chosen. They just kind of are. And even your career path through education. I mean, you just wanted to lead. You were leading kids. You were leading people. You were creating stuff. And, like, that stuff is natural. And so it's a cool thing to watch people progress that way. Yeah. So you want to talk a little bit about so you do a lot of workforce development stuff, which we think is super cool. Will you talk to us a little bit about conceptually what that is and kind of what that looks like implemented out in the community?
Yes, I think this is year 14, I would say, in workforce development.
Yeah.
I come from a different side. Back in my education side, gave me a perspective from the education, the teaching, the training, all those things. And then from the business side, I get to see both sides of it, right? So workforce development, 2013, 2014, like I said earlier, the state started kind of pivoting to this career and technical education focus, which was important.
Yeah.
This last year, year and a half ago maybe, the state has since kind of doubled down on that and changed the whole accountability model for schools and how they're measured. So schools by A schools, B schools, C schools, where there's a formula that they put behind that is how they get to that letter grade. And they've kind of doubled down and go, look, we're going to push career and technical education. We're going to show how important it is by putting these things in place. And some of those are internships that they're requiring for graduation and different things. So it's been really, really cool to see from a workforce kind of culture overall. We know the state of Louisiana focuses, there's a lot of news articles, you don't have to search very hard, this out-migration, right? And so when you look at people leaving the state, you got to go, well, if the good ones are leaving the state, what are we left with, right? It's the people that want to stay here, like us, that want to be here, that want to grow here, want to grow our families here. And then there's people that don't have an opportunity to leave here, right? And so really probably the last 2 or 3 years, I've focused a lot on what I call the disconnected population. There's a lot of data around this, but these guys and girls that they walk across the stage at high school graduation, they just disappear into the community, right? They don't go on to college, they don't go on to university, they don't go on to a job or a living wage job. They just kind of exist, right? A lot of them end up on some kind of welfare system. And then it's generational poverty. Continues.
And a lot of them have probably a lot of great potential.
Yeah, a lot of them do. I think a lot of my encounters with individuals is the biggest thing that they need is hope.
Yeah.
And when they realize there is an opportunity, when there are opportunities in Monroe, in our surrounding areas, like it gives them a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But then they need resources. They need support. And so when I look at workforce development, I look at it from the whole landscape, for a long time, business and industries kind of sat here at the end of the conveyor line and just said, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not working. And so what we've challenged our team with and different groups is to get involved at the front end. How are we partnering with middle schools and high schools?
Yeah.
We put banners, the Manufacturers Association I'm a part of here in town, we put banners in schools, just brand recognition. Hey, there's Mid South Extrusion. Hey, there's Pulp Mill. Hey, there's Lexicon. Hey, there's this and the other. In the high schools to talk about, hey, there's a career here that I can go to. And so we're really trying to push involvement in the high schools and the middle schools and K-12 systems just so that those students that don't really want to go to college, and I think y'all talked about some of this in earlier podcasts, the ones that don't really want to go to college, it doesn't mean they're failures. It doesn't mean they're less than. It means they have a need for something different.
Yeah.
Right? And so for employers, if we're connected to that, we can start to help chip away at that statistic of, those students that walk off and never, or either come back. When you look at Louisiana Delta's enrollment, I'm sure you can Google it now, the average age, I think at one point was like 25.
Really? Because they're circling back to trades later. Yeah, that's so interesting.
So they leave, they go
tried
off,
it on their own.
They struggle. Most of them struggle for 3 to 5 years after they graduate.
Seem like a real option.
And then they come back into a program that they can get certified in and they can move on in.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at how many leave high school, don't go to college, don't go to university, it's like, well, where do they go? Well, there's really no qualifications that they carry, and a lot of employers are going, I don't have time to train this person. I don't have time to do these things. So they get kind of tossed out. And then they get this, then they start to lose hope.
Yeah.
Right? People, you've seen them in the community, like, nobody wants to hire me.
Yeah.
Right? Or you make mistakes and you make bad choices and you get a record, or you go to jail and you do this. Like, that's not the case. Like, I'm proud of Mid South Extrusion. Like, we work with people. We care about people.
Yeah.
Like, if you got a past, we look at those things. We talk about those things with you. But it's because we understand that there's not everybody's pathway looks the same.
Yeah.
Right? And so we do think there's an opportunity for business and industry to get kind of plugged in at the front end. We know that system works. We also know, and a lot of time I spend in D.C. and in Baton Rouge is around legislation and funding. And so workforce development is funded at the federal level. Pretty much 99% of it comes from federal funds that are issued out of Congress and passed down to the states. Well, when you look at the state of Louisiana, I think when Governor Landry came into office in 2022, 2023, something like that. Like the state legislature asked to have an audit of all of our workforce and social services systems. So they did an audit, and they realized like we're spending like $1 billion, and the return on that investment is like minimal.
Very low, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we started seeing that we were actually spending more money on administrative fees and cost than we were on the individual to get trained and get developed or get the services that they needed. And so the state of Louisiana, a great team in Baton Rouge with Governor Landry, Secretary Susie Schoen, who's over Workforce Commission. She and I have worked together for several years. I was actually able to be the business representative on one of his task force when he came in to overhaul our workforce and social services at the state level. And so there's some things happening in Baton Rouge behind the scenes where they're merging these departments and restructuring to better serve the individual. And so I think our workforce as a state level is going to change dramatically over the next few years, and we'll start to see that. It also helps when you have legislation, and it's very controversial at the federal level, and regardless of where you sit on the aisle, we have programs that incentivize people to stay home. Right, through the welfare system and Medicare benefits and all these different things. And so this last Congress has done a lot of legislative work, passing bills, the great big beautiful bill. Yeah. Part of that legislation was about getting people off of the welfare system and Medicaid and getting them into the workforce. And so they restructured how incentives are paid out. Basically, they required you to either volunteer half the time, work half the time, or be full-time employed to be able to take care of services. Well, that's going back to the intent of how the welfare system was created way back when it was just meant to be a handoff.
As
a
supplement.
Like we went through the Great Depression and we had to recover as a country. The government stepped in, and instead of going, hey, we're going to get back on our feet, get you going, and then we're going to shut this off and go back to the way it was, somehow we said it was a good idea just to keep the services going, right? And that's where it's just gotten taken advantage of. And so we have generations of families that living off of a welfare system. And the welfare system, this is the message that we need to send. It's never meant to bring wealth, right? You're never going to get wealthy on the welfare system. You're never going to be out of poverty on the welfare system. And so if our goal, and you hear people in Northeast Louisiana specifically say, we're going to target poverty, we want to do away with poverty. Well, you're not going to do that if you don't do something about people on the welfare system. And this is not a knock against the welfare system by any means. This is just saying there's a lot of opportunities here. We talk about jobs and opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of money that comes in for funding for training programs. We got to get those people that are disconnected out of the community into these programs and into these careers.
Well, it will actually change their life.
They don't even realize the quality of life that exists in a different path.
Yeah, and so if we can really take a focus on that, I think moving that needle, because there's no doubt that I think last year we might have flatlined when it came to out-migration. We were kind of steady, like every year we were losing, and then maybe last year we kind of got stagnant a little bit. That's okay. And so I think if we focus on the people that are here and we focus on the ones that aren't engaged, those are the ones that don't show up in the data. So you look at I'm going to nerd out for a second. You look at unemployment data, and it's a statistic that says we're at 7% or 4% or 3%. Well, after a certain period of time, people aren't counted in that data. And so really, if you put the people that are disconnected into that, I mean, we might be 14, 15, 16%, which you would think is insane. Because that's the number of people that really aren't in the workforce. And so we're not looking, the data that I look at and a lot of teams at the state level are shifting our focus to is not the unemployment rate. That doesn't tell the story. Labor force participation rate is what we got to focus on. And when you look at us, I think in the state we're like 56%, and maybe in Northeast Louisiana 53%. So from 18 to like 67, I think is the population. 53% is participating in the labor force.
Oh, wow. That's
you
crazy.
Wonder why there's so many openings?
Yeah.
It's because you have 53% of the population that's participating in the labor force. That's a problem. Yeah. Now, the national average is like 63%. So we're not going to get to 100. We're not going to. But if we got to, I think there was a study several years ago. It was like if we could increase 1% of our population into the workforce, it's like 100,000 people going to work.
Wow.
Oh, that's wild.
So you think Northeast Louisiana, 300,000 people. If we put 3,000 more people to work, what would that do for our community? What would that do for small businesses? What would that do for the coffee shops? What would that do for, all the micro businesses that need people to spend money? It's there. The opportunities are there. This is why I love the Meta project, is because, not that Meta specifically of itself, the company, but the ecosystem that's going to be created is you're going to have a lot of businesses that are going to set roots here in Monroe, Louisiana, to support that project for a long time. What better time to get involved than right now?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
Right? I mean, if I look back in 20 years, and I hope that I look back and I go, we saw the opportunity with Meta coming in. We had at least the vision to be able to understand what the ripple effect was going to be. And we took a chance, right? We got engaged. We went after something, and we actually targeted strategically that we're going to fix something in Northeast Louisiana. And 20 years from now, we look back and go, it worked. Yeah. Right? We made a difference. Yeah. There's a generation coming up now that are going to be benefactors of the work that we're doing today. And that motivates me, right? That gives me energy.
I can see your fire.
Yeah, because there's
so cool, dude.
It's passion.
Because
I'm getting a second job.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we know that we've never been intended to live off of a system. It's never designed. The government's never been designed to support us. Yeah. Right. And so when we take that approach and we hand off what God's given us to somebody else and saying, you know what's best for me. You just take it. You just give me what you think I need. You're never going to be successful, right? The Lord's created you to be a creator. And this is, another thing for me is God gave us special gifts. We don't all have the same gifts, right? And we all play in different, pools and ponds. But at the end of the day, you were created to be a creator. If you're sitting at home and you're not doing anything and you're receiving a check and life's miserable and things are happening, that's God's way of going, hey, I didn't create you for this. I didn't make you for this. What I made you to do is all this other. Yeah. And so all we want to do, and I think our responsibility as leaders and part of this show and everything that you guys are doing, is to help kind of create the space. I talk a lot about, my role is just to help set the table. Yeah. Right? I don't have to lead anything. I just set the table, create the space for the people that can move and shake to come together and move and shake. Yeah. Right?
That's incredible. Yeah, and it is. There is something spiritual and fulfilling about accomplishing things, accomplishing tasks, being a part of a team, working hand in hand with people, connecting. Yeah. To me, that's where you get connected.
That's right.
You can feel God in those moments. And it is tough. And it sucks because it's a tricky situation where people haven't known another way out. And I think that's just, it's incredible that there's sharp people and there's a team being built in order to help create opportunity. Like you said, give hope. That's an awesome thing. Yeah. Because it would be uncomfortable, but it would drastically change people's lives. And that's the goal. Yeah. We want everybody to win. It's the same type of concept. You want those people to win. Yeah.
Why do I not want, the next generation to have enough money to buy a house and to buy a car and to buy groceries? That's what's going to support us as we get older, right? And if we're not building up the next generation, what's this community going to look like? Yeah. And I think that's a lot of time. It's easy in this world to feel like we're just kind of on autopilot and things are just going to continue the way they've been. That's not the case. Yeah. Meta didn't have to choose Northeast Louisiana. And if Meta wasn't here right now, what track would we be on? Yeah. Right? But as a community, if we just kind of have this apathy, which Friday talks a lot about, of, it's not my job, it's not my role, it's not my thing, you're going to look up and your kids are going to start to be grown and you're going, what is this place? Yeah. Right? And I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere. It's my family's here. We love the schools that we're in. We love the church that we attend. We love the businesses that we support. But it takes work. Yeah. And man, sometimes somewhere along the lines, it's as a people, we just kind of looked at work as a negative. Yeah. And that blows my mind because in Genesis, he told Adam to keep and to cultivate. Yeah. He told Adam to work. We look at work after chapter 3, which talks about sin, and then he cast him out of the garden and said, you will work this land. Well, we looked at it as a negative. We go back into the garden. He said, keep it and cultivate it. Yeah. Well, that's work. Yeah. It's purpose, it's fulfillment. For us, this is your relationship with me. Is as you work this garden, you're walking hand in hand with me. Yeah. As I'm making plastic, it's a part of my worship.
Yeah.
Right? As you're putting roofs on houses, it's part of your worship. Do work really well.
Yeah.
And things will start to happen.
That's our mantra. So we're in the commercial division, kind of upstairs, detached from everybody, and that is our thing up there. And kind of it's radiated throughout the company. It's just like, are you having fun?
Yeah.
And it's like the answer has to be yes. It's like the point where we're not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure. Like we got to figure this out. And like, I get a lot of enjoyment out of what I do, but it's because of the team that we are a part of, and it's because of like it goes back to like your heart in the business and your core values and what you want to be, and that being like a real feeling, not just something we say a lot.
That's
you know what I mean? It's not just something that's on the wall and we echo in everything we say. It is more direct. Like, is our heart actually there?
Yeah.
And so we try to keep that space. And look, I've worked in spaces that don't feel like that. Like throughout my whole life. That I've just been a part of companies where it does kind of suck. It's like it sucks. And that's different, but it is. There's still fulfillment that can be taking place, and just part of your journey. You just keep finding your way. So
that's right.
Man, it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. I'm glad we kind of were able to go into that. Man, that's to see your fire about it. It really does fire us up. I think it's a really cool thing to see, and that's what we're talking about. It takes people who actually care. In order to dig in and do that, because I have lived in part of communities where, they are on autopilot, and I've watched those cities that I've lived in kind of just be stale and stagnant and erode a little bit, and it's just, man, we're super blessed to be here, and dude, we're blessed to have you on here. This is so cool to hear about what you got on.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And Chamber of Commerce, what type of schedule? What's the next event y'all have coming up?
I think we got coffee and conversations coming up. Those are pretty much every other week or so on a good rotation. So we've got some legislative luncheons that'll start. Legislative session just started in Baton Rouge. I know in May we've got Northern Exposure, which will be down in Baton Rouge. Kind of everybody from North Louisiana goes down there, and we set up and we talk to those legislators. But there's always something. I mean, there's ways to get connected. So if anybody's not connected, reach out to the staff there, and they'll get you hooked up.
And look, we'll find the calendar and we'll share the calendar on our stuff, and just so people can see it. Man, we're excited. We're going to come be a part of it with you, and doing anything we can do to help support the community, that'd be awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Matt.